The times in which He decided that I should be born. You know, some people say silly things like, I feel like I was born for a different era and I'm living in the wrong. No, Allah is pretty sure you belong in this era. You can feel like it because you've been watching a lot of old TV shows and you feel like you belong in the 12th century, but maybe you should stop watching TV and live in this era because Allah created you for this time and you should be grateful for the time and the environment and the situation you live in. Maybe you're surrounded by darkness. And you say, why am I surrounded by darkness? Why am I in such a bad environment? Maybe because you were supposed to be the light that came in that environment. Maybe you were put in darkness because you're supposed to be that light. After all, a believer is called a lamp. And a lamp is only beneficial at nighttime when there's darkness. You know, the believer's heart is called a lamp, right? And so maybe there's a reason you're in this situation. Because you're supposed to be a sort of good, a source of good. First, you take care of yourself. Then you start doing good to all around. Imam Fakhruddin al-Razi, when talking about this ayah, said, Allah did not just limit doing good as in charity. Do good with your tongue. Say the best things to people. Think about how you talk to people. Think about the tone you're going to take. Avoid sarcasm. Say beautiful things, not ugly things. Don't mock people. Don't look at people with ugly faces. Don't scoff at people. Don't talk behind people's back. When people see you, they have beautiful thoughts. They have a beautiful experience even if they saw you for 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Nobody's miserable because of you. You're not a source of misery. You're a source of joy. And why are you a source of joy? For yourself and others, because Allah has been good to you. Kama ahsanallahu ilayk. As if Allah is telling us, we have to become better human beings in everything that we do. You're the best at your work. You're the best in your studies. You're the best in the way you carry yourself. You're the best in the choice of words you use. You're the best at controlling your temper. You're doing the best on every single front. Why? Because you keep thinking, Allah's been pretty good to me. Allah's taken quite a bit of care of me. What does shaitan want you to do? Shaitan wants you to think about all your problems and blame them on Allah. Why did Allah do this to me? Why is my brother taller than I am? Why is this happening to me? Why did that happen to me? I can't forget that one time somebody said this one thing. Yep, that happened. But all the good that's happened in between, He wants you to be blind to. Allah wants you to think about how Allah is good to you. Ahsin kama ahsanallahu ilayk. And Allah is still good to you. No matter how hard your life and my life is, there is someone who has it much harder. And I've seen people that have a much harder life and they are happy. They are happy because they recognize Allah is good to them. He says, وَأَحْسِن كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. Be good to people, be good to others, take care of yourself, take care of your needs, but become one who cares for others. And that should be inspired by how Allah has been good to you and to me. If we can do that, then we can save ourselves from being Qarun. And we can stop ourselves from being entitled. Last thing I'll share with you about this individual, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. In the Quran, Allah talks about terrible nations. Yes? The nation of Fir'aun, the nation of Lut, the nation of Salih, those nations. And the whole nation was evil. And Allah destroyed those nations. Didn't He? And He destroyed them in this life. And then they have punishment in the next life. 2 times. Qarun is not a nation. Qarun is one man. And his attitude, you know what his attitude is? I have everything because I'm pretty knowledgeable. إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. And you know what Allah did with him? He's not a nation. He's one man. And Allah buried him into the ground. Along with his house. He buried him in the ground. Allah punished him not in the next life. Allah punished him in this life. The story is being told to us because the advice that's being given, if this advice is not followed, then we become like Qarun. And if we become like Qarun, we're not that much safer than Qarun. We're not that much safer. If Qarun can be buried into the earth in this life, and then in the next life, then we don't have any insurance policy against that. We don't have any way that we'll know that Allah will not bring us to our knees and destroy us because of our arrogance, because of our ingratitude in this life before we even see anything in the next. And I pray Allah protects us from becoming a Qarun on the inside. These are not just people who came and they died. These people had a disease. And that disease lives on until Judgment Day. That's why Allah described this virus. So you read about it, I read about it, I think about it, I hear about it, and I say to myself, man, I better not be infected with this virus. Because that's scary stuff. I don't want it for myself. I don't want my kids to have it. And what can we do to get it out of our system if we see some of this inside of ourselves? If I see some of this inside of what can I do? How can I make choices that benefit me in this life and the next life? وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهَ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. How can I become a person that stops just entertaining themselves and getting lost in social media and video games and movies and all this nonsense? Yeah, have some fun sometimes, but if that's all your life has become, which way are you headed? Which way am I headed? May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us, and may Allah Azza wa Jal protect our next generation, and may Allah Azza wa Jal keep our eyes open and never let us believe that this world is all there is, that there is a much bigger reality ahead, and Allah is always watching. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim, wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim.